is what we love to see, John. We've been watching a lot of farming games recently. I mean, yesterday the stream went on for 10 hours, and just how many
Uh,
1 hour plus games did we have yesterday? It was at least three.
yep.
Uh,
Yep.
One of them lasting an hour 30, I think, 90
Yeah,
minutes
I
or
think
so.
80. I think it reached 85, maybe 83. But
Okay.
yeah, it's about an hour 20, which is still long, especially compared to how the other series go. Usually averaging out, I think, to around 35 minutes. So those were definite outliers. Still, these two teams, Mike, they do love playing fast. Execration and Boom, they don't tend to wait around. They like applying that early to mid game pressure and trying to snowball. So I don't think you're going to be seeing that here. Should be an exciting one.
I agree. We'll bring up some quick odds and see what the Loopback guys are saying. If I had it prepared, but I didn't. But there we go. So, Boom Esports sitting as the favorites, $1.35. Execration currently at $3.05. So overall, not too bad, right? In terms of odds, I honestly would have thought maybe it would have been a bit more of a gap between the two. But Boom, of course, are still going to be the heavy favorites.
Yeah, it's again historically, I don't have the exact stats because the website's been acting up, but I believe this is Boom favored. I mean, again, they're just up there on the heels of the old Titans of Sea. They can really find a spot. Still, you gotta love Execration's positioning. You've got Potato just being far forward, trying to look for a kill op, not gonna find it. Should be able to spot the ward. No, Smish just misses right out in the vision. So ward is saved, and you're pretty happy here. It can be even trades under runes as well.
It will be. Execration will take the top ones, and Boom Esports will take care of the bottom bounties. FBZ going to be there on the Beastmaster down at that bot lane, and he'll be accompanied by Hyde. Of course, they'll be up against the Void for now, being played by Palos. Thing is, Palos is currently alone, John, as it does seem as though Execration are going to start with a bit of a tri lane to get started. And I can't quite blame them for this, because they do have some nice kill potential with these three heroes. Just connect the roll and you're pretty much good to go. In fact, Raging might even go for the boulder smash, and he does.
Yeah, you've got to be careful here if you're Dreamo Cell. Have to know something's up.
Here comes the RR, showing from the behind. He'll get the blood right, but there's your boulder smash on too. Dreamer Cell still going to be able to walk away. They just don't have the damage output, apparently. BDZ, he couldn't really get a... Well, he got a Fade Bolt off, but yeah, level 1, just not quite enough.
No, you gotta admire Kezcute's body blocks as well. That is two melee supports. If you can't close the gap, you can't dish out the right click damage. So you're gonna be happy here. Dreamer Cell is holding on and should be able to regen. It's a Bloodseeker. It's gonna be able to catch up once level 2 is in. And you have to be careful. You don't want to fall behind here for Raging and BDZ. You would want that Rubik to make rotations at some point mid where you see, you've got Ken and Mikado on the Ember TA matchup. Now, this is going okay for both sides. Like, it's going to take level 3 for Ken to really apply the pressure with Flame Guard. Mikado can just kind of dance around with this level 1 side blades, apply some right-click pressure. It's going to be a stable farm. Power Rune's going to be important along with those camps. So if one of these can start shoving in and taking those smaller camps right by their mid-tier 1 away, it's going to cause a lot of pain. Both tiers do need that initial farm here.
Ken is copying a lot of side blades out from Makoto, which you come to expect, but top lane, Raging, he got very, very low in HP. He will be able to salve up and get back into the lane as the Earth Spirit. He's going to roll back in onto Dreamer Soul, but doesn't connect, and now with the Blood Rider Magic Missile, he's going to cop the silence, and that might be first blood. Kezcute on the run. Dreamer Soul very fast with that thirst. A nice kick away, but Dreamer Soul is going to go for it. No, won't be able to finish it. Still thinking about another Blood Right, but ultimately decides better of it. And Raging stuck there with 2 tangos now. So he's not really going to be able to do too much until he does get his HP pulled back up.
Yeah, that's something the Bloodseeker actually enjoys. I mean, you see just how fast Dreamer Cell is while Thirst is up and running. He regens through the wave. This is something that you have to watch for in Execration's lane. Don't want to be lagging behind too badly, and Raging is forced to kind of salve up. So a bit of a wonky start there. You compare that to their bot lane, though. Palos is having a decent time. It's also not doing fantastically. You are laning against a Beastmaster, though. This is a hard lane, no matter how you cut it. Right? You're taking the boar hits. You've got 2 melee heroes in the Beastmaster lane. Not a good time. And Hyde is just applying that pressure with his right hooks really well. In fact, with the slowest RR, is going to cop a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's going to cop a lot of damage, and they're not going to finish him off, but they're going to leave him at that very low HP pool. And now they'll just try and trade with Palos, who is taking quite a bit more himself. Palos is finally going to time walk away, but RR had already committed the salve on himself as the Ogre, which means Palos is going to be left without regen. So now, if the Execration, you're going to be much more careful down at this bot lane, as Boom do have quite a bit of kill potential.
Yeah, it's just a very hard lane for them to be at. And even Ken down mid is just forced to walk away. So every single lane, a bit of a struggle right now for Execration. Of course, with that walk away, Mikado, he gets to have a fun time. Just free last hits coming out for the TA.
I mean, Makoto's been ruining Ken in that mid lane, not going to lie, John. He's really been abusing those side blades, and Ken has been on low HP for a long, long time. And it just seems like he didn't want to waste any more gold on regen. And I would agree with him on that. He did bring a salve out with him. He knows it's still going to be a very challenging lane. But this is not what you want as an Ember Spirit. You need to dominate the lane up against the TA. That's the whole point of the pick.
It's just not lining up. Mikado is just getting the spacing out, and this is something with the Ember TA matchup. It's not a guarantee because of the burn, although up top.
Yeah, Dreamer Soul, he got a nice blood right off, but he's falling low. BDZ with the lift up. Dreamer Soul getting low and does go down. And that'll be your first blood going to Raging Potato. Now rolling back in onto Kezcute. And looks like Kezcute is going to be safe. Raging did not have any more spells to throw out. That is the Earth Spirit Dream Job to get that first blood gold. He'll buy out the urn now.
That's perfect timing for it. Gets his level 4 spike done from that as well. So Dream Cell not going to be too happy. I mean, you do have to play the Bloodseeker and the Bleeding Edge. It does come with its risks. So good punishment from Execration to get that done. And Raging, he needs a little bit more. I'd say with the urn flying in, you want to find an additional kill to get the charges up. Then you can start to look at other lanes. Perhaps that bot lane, because Palos, man, he is also not having a good time. He may not have died, but you can just see how much FBZ is shoving into him. And at some point, the Beastmaster will look for a push here.
I mean, at this stage, Palos may as well have died. It's just, well, there's that self-cancellation out from Hyde as well. Palos, he's just not having a good time. Gonna try and get some harass onto Hyde, but he's gonna turn around with the Scatter Blast and with the Cookie, and they have the Boar Slow. It's just, this bot lane is getting very, very bad. Another salve for Palos. I can only imagine how many he's gotten now. I believe it's about 4 on this Void. And as you can see by his farm, John, he's just got a Gloves of Haste, a Wand, and Wraith Bands. It's a slow process for him.
Yeah, it's not a good time. His initial farm's going to be hurting. FBZ is going to be very glad. So that'll open up a push down bot. You can see down mid, Mikado has the level advantage. Ken has 6, so he can run around a bit more, but there was a scuffle over the ruins, and Kezcute could just TP away. That's another thing. Once you expend those controlled spells from the Rubik and the Ember, they're pretty long cooldown. You can just TP out.
You can. A 1 to 2, boom. They'll be leading by 1k net worth. We'll bring up the net worth graph, and you can see Palos, he's really down there, John. 2k. 700 gold behind Dreamer Soul on the blood. And up against the Beastmaster, it really doesn't get any easier. He's going to hit that level 6 soon, and then Palos is going to have to watch his back constantly, as that Roar is almost going to guarantee a kill after Palos, and he really doesn't have any help coming in at all. RR has left the lane. He's just trying to get some D-wards out and perhaps trying to help the mid lane a bit. It's a bit of a hard game for the supports of Execration, because it's like, do I help bot lane? Do I help mid lane? Well, it looks like they are going to rotate in Ken now on the Ember, and they might try onto FBZ and Hyde. In fact, make it a 4th hero coming in now. Raging will TP in, straight onto FBZ, and they will be able to clean up 1 kill. But that does cost you 4 heroes.
That's just a lot of space you're eating out. Like, Dreamer Cell gets free farm top from this. You also have free farm mid for Mikado. I think slowing down the Beastmaster for that is not the most worthwhile trade, but it's important to find anyways. Ken needs to kill. You've got the charge on your Ur now because of that, so Raging has more burst and control potential here for a move down mid if they wanted to, although level 8 Mikado, a bit tanky, a bit much more difficult than you'd want to jump to TA. So I think you've missed on that opportunity. Just look for elsewhere.
Hyde in danger bot lane. Palos does commit the chrono. He wants the kill, but now he's in trouble. FBZ, he's got the ball slows with the Necro units to follow. Palos waiting on that time walk. And FBZ wants to keep chasing now with Dreamer Cell, who does have the blood right. And they will be able to get at least a support trade. And that kill will go over to Dreamer Cell on the Bloodseeker, who holds on to his Rupture. So now, if you push down that tier 1 bot tower, you are at least going to have the Rupture and Roar up and available to use.
Yeah, and they're in prime position to push. This is one of the benefits of that Venge along with the Beastmaster. They melt towers early on. You aren't quite in position here for Execration for a trade, like BDZ solo top. You've got Raging Potato mid, neither hero push as well. So it's going to be a straightforward push for Boom.
It is. No contest. I mean, BDZ's the only one up top on the Rubik. He's not going to be able to get this done by himself. Hyde will be there to just clear out the creep wave and keep that tower a little bit safer. Looks like they are going to finally rotate more heroes in as Palos is coming, but mid lane, Raging. To make a jump onto Makoto, but it's really not going to be enough just like that. Makoto now going to refract and turn back around, and Raging, he's going to cop a lot of damage with the Roar to come out from FBZ. And that was wishful thinking. To go for that kill without Ken on the Ember, they were really stretching for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I get the pressure to slow down Mikado. We talked about him being left alone in lane. Right, so they never got rotations during the first 10 minutes. And they felt the need to slow down the TA farm. It's just, it doesn't work out. It's a bit too late, so it falls flat. Still, they get punished, but Ken is getting some time to catch up. You are seeing the gap here between the TA Ember, though. Like, Mikado's farm is 5.2. Top of network, Ken, 3.6. He's not the priority, although
he's being chased down to the bot lane. Ken is going to show up with the chains now. Dreamer Cell needs some help. This TP's coming in, but he is getting very, very low in terms of HP. Has the Rupture, not going to throw it out. Well, actually will in the end. Kezcute with a swap out won't be enough to save their Bloodseeker. And now Kezcute also going to go down here, as Ken will be able to pick up a double kill.
That's the big one. They managed to get some snowball in for Ken. So finding that good punishment onto Dreamer Cell is good. You have to note though that I think we've seen this kind of play with the Bloodseeker. The Bloodseeker takes a backseat, so it's not actually your pause one. The TA will be an up top.
Palos, he has the chrono, but doesn't throw it. Now does to just try and walk away. FBZ is going to walk around, have a roar. Now the Blood Rights are coming, and Palos is going to die to Dreamer Cell. And I thought with that kill on Dreamer Cell just 30 seconds ago, it was a big deal for the side of Execration. But then when you lose Palos like that, it's kind of evening out.
I'd say it hurts more for Execration, mainly because, again, you're not looking at Dreamer Cell's farm so much. He's there to buy space for the TA. He's enabling Mikado. That's all he's doing. Mikado is making use of this space well, and it's just kind of a side benefit that Dreamer Cell has this fantastic farm. Like, he's got the Sanj, he's going to the SNY, he's number 2 in net worth. It's a really good spot. Palos, when he dies, he just stays low. He's still at 3.9k, barely tied up with Raging Potato. Not the spot where you want the Void to be. Now he doesn't have Chrono, and his skill build here as well, Mike. He went for 204, so maximum time lock. He's being punished. He can't time walk out of the damage flying from Boom, and it's hurting his early game presence just because that he's forced to play offensively while they don't have the damage to maximize that.
It definitely was a bit greedier of a skill choice here for Palos. Maybe because he had the Ogre Bloodlust, he thought he would have opportunities to get a lot of kills going, but it's just not the case. Now, it's just going to slowly get worse. Makoto, he does have the Desolator up. He'll work into the Blink Dagger up next. It's just going to get that much harder now as Execration. That storm is coming very, very soon for him. Trying to prepare by getting their own farm up Still 2k behind for Execration. But they
Yeah.
are slowly getting those core items up now. That will give them a
for
chance to fight back.
Yeah, they've got the Mask of Madness under Void. They've got a Blade Mail and Raging, and
Raging does kick him back. Ken gonna come in, but a nice swap out from Kezcute. Magnetize gonna be popped, but FBZ does get the roar off, and Makoto does not care for the Blade Mail of Raging Potato. So he does have the refraction. That's a good trade for Boom. They get the offlane ES.
that's a big win for them. I'm surprised Boom isn't playing with the offensive swaps instead. So, say Rupture double swap to immediately burst someone down. But maybe we'll see that down the line. Dreamcell has been pretty far forward. But the punishment is there still. That gives Execration an even net worth board now, right? Less about a K lead for Boom, but that's not massive. Ken is bouncing back up. He's number 3 in net worth. So he's at a very good spot as the Ember. He is going for a Blade Mail himself. So it looks like the game plan is to get Boom to hurt themselves a lot more. Not just with the TA right clicks, but even Ravage is going to reflect, Rupture is going to reflect back. So it's going to be tougher to nail the perfect Rupture here. Ken is probably just going to pop his Blade Mail and not care. The same thing goes for Raging. He already tried to make that play, just got stunned up. So that seems to be it. The Mask of Madness is accelerating Palas's farm. Of course, it makes it easier for him to get some kills in the chrono when it is up. So this is going to help out a ton. And that's going to be it for now. We're still got to see what they do buy up next. Boom. We're still looking for the SNY and Dreamcell. He does have a BKB queued up first, though. So it looks like Sanj into BKB just to be durable. And then you go for the SNY. That's going to cause problems for Ken, as he is mainly magic damage with this build. And on Hide as well, you know, Mike, it's a bit disappointing, but he is going for the Guardian Greaves build, you know, a much more normal support snap build. No Ags, but maybe down the line we'll get to see that come out.
Perhaps. Do we have the go-ahead now? We can get back to the game. FBZ is just going to continue focusing in on just getting that farm up for the Necro 3 book into the Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster. Just wants to be able to get that initiation off for the team, and obviously they have plenty of follow-up damage in the Bloodseeker TA. Execration still hanging around that mid lane. You have 4 heroes there, in fact, and they are going to smoke up now. Raging, perhaps trying to bait for his team, is not really going to get anyone in. Kezcute did just... He's going to see that regen room being taken. Raging tries to pretend he took it. It was actually Ken. Kezcute doesn't realize it, and he's going to pay for it. Nice little act kind of play there from Execration.
It's a nice pickup that maybe opens up a mid push, but you know, it's still a support bench, so not the biggest. The push is one of the weaknesses for Execration. They just do not have the best right click damage, so even if they clump up mid, it's still going to live on.
BZ being a spot of danger, Raging. Can't really do much to stop him. The FBZ just TPing out nicely in time. Top lane, Palos. He trying to go onto Makoto. Makoto does get the bounty and turns back around, but Palos will chrono. Now the Rupture Blood Riot, Palos! Yeah, you've got to be careful about that. He still had refraction up. Ken, Cookie is out from our snap buyer, but now a great magnetize from Raging. Good swap out onto Dreamcell, and Dreamcell's going to make a run for it. Hyde also trying to get out, but Raging does get him with the magnetize, but now Makoto turning back around into that Earth Spirit, but is taking too much damage. Kezcute will die. Now FBZ in with the roar, but they have lost Makoto, and it is a bit of a mess. But it seems though Execration are coming out on top as Raging does come back in. FBZ still trying to turn back around onto the Earth Spirit. We'll be able to eventually get him, but Palos now going to come back in, and RR is able to pick off FBZ.
Oh man, it's a messy fight, but in the end, Execration does come out 3-4. They're going to be happy about that. It does pay off in the end. Still rather awkward. You want to watch that... Watch how those fights go out. It still did cost them Palos in the end. Not a good sign. Boom is still maintaining 2k lead, but they need certain items to be out. I would love to see that Blink BKB up. on Mikado first. He's been a bit more aggressive than we're used to seeing early on in TA. Dreamercell as well. He's one part away from the BKB. Just lacking that recipe on the Bloodseeker. And once you've got that up, you can ignore the damage here and the control from the Ember and Earth Spirit. So you just need that to be in play. Execration, they may have had that slower start, but it's not like they're out of it. It's 11-9. It's just a 2K lead. You're still having good progress here in Palos. Going for the MKB next, and once that's up, Faces Void, his damage skyrockets with just that one item pickup. So have to be wary of that. The more kills you give away, the more chances Execration has to get a snowball back.
Certainly. Kodo chained up mid lane. Raging is gonna roll in. It's one of those things with the Earth Spirit, John. Once you start rolling, you can't stop. You've got to make your choice carefully. Unfortunately for Raging, he did not. Now into the mid lane. Kensku gonna rotate around onto BDZ with the swap out. FBZ with the roar. They just want this Rubik dead, and they might just get that. In fact, make it Ken as well. He tries to Remnant, but the fire is following, and Makoto will have the damage to take him out with the TA into the mid lane. They will very, very easily get that tier 1 mid tower.
Yeah, that's a big tower for Boom to take. Opens up the Roche if they wanted to, and they make their way there. You've got the Venge, you've got the Beastmaster, and this Desolator up on Mikado, of course, means that Roche is not going to stand long. Still, though, Palos, he has the Chrono. Could make a play here.
It just looks tough, but you don't know where the Venge is, and well, now the Aegis is gone anyway, so you won't have the opportunity to try and get that Chrono fight going. That's going to allow now for Dreamercell to have that BKB up. You've got Makoto working towards his own BKB, and even gets a double damage rune on the TA now. And things are starting to look quite negative for Execration. They're 5k behind, and yes, their draft scale is better in the late game. The only question is whether they can make it to the late game.
Yeah, I mean, they're holding on to some objectives well. Boom, haven't started knocking on your tier 2, so that's a bit of a silver lining there. You do have some good progression. The Spirit Vessel is up, so you can start to even do more damage out here, get some better control, but Boom, they're not relenting. They're just looking for opportunities here.
They'd love to get Ken, but he will remnant out, so instead they'll have to settle for the RR kill, and Makoto does just delete the Ogre. He's meant to be a tanky support, John, but not for the TA. They want more. Hyde gonna go up the staircase, try and find another target for himself, and well, BDZ is gonna be able to go ahead and take the Scatter Blast off Hyde. But it looks like Boom. Are they gonna try for a tier 2 push? No, they're just gonna take control of this Radiant jungle for now, and maybe make their way back down to that tier 2 tower, where Makoto has already gotten rid of half its HP.
Yeah, it's just the objective game. They got to play around those towers. Doesn't matter if you don't find kills. Shut down the map. They might find someone though.
Oh, Raw is out onto the Rubik. Still BDZ gonna try and fight back, but can't. He does go down. Now Dreamercell with the Rupture out onto Raging. He just can't do much but die. And in fact, the Rupture wasn't even Raging, it was on RR. He gets melted by the Melt Strike of Makoto. And this is that point, John. This is the storm we were talking about during the draft phase. It's a roughie.
Oh, it definitely is. Execration, they are buying space here for Palas. So the MKB is going to be up on him, and the Faceless Void does boost his damage, but you worry about how far behind he is. I mean, we talked about Dreamercell not being the true pos one. You know, that is most definitely Mikado kind of being the hard carry. Palas is not even matching Dreamercell for the most part. He's a full K behind, and Dreamercell's been much more active on the map. He's been running around, setting up these kills. Not a good sign for Execration. You're also lagging behind in levels for Palas.
Makoto, they're trying to chain him up. They'll get the lift with BDZ, but Makoto's still just going to be able to get out of there with the cookie. And now, Raging, he's on the front lines again with that Blade Mail, but it does nothing. Makoto, he just doesn't care. Still has the Aegis, still has the 10-second BKB charge. Back in onto that tier 2 tower it is for Boom. It's going to be a very easy tier 2 at that. No real contest here from the side of Execration.
No, I mean, when Palas doesn't throw Chrono out, that means you're not fighting So they just have to play defensive. Palos is not ready to commit. His MKB is done though. But again, he's still at level 14. He doesn't have any defensive items. He has to find the Beastmaster first, at the very least. But you'd also want to catch the Venge. A lot of things need to happen for the Chrono to be big and a bigger team fight. And unless Boom start to declump, or at least, start going one by one, there are no clear opportunities. So it's difficult for Palos. And Execration, they just hold back. They're banking on Faceless Void to really carry them through, but they're losing a lot of ground.
Ken just losing half his HP to the TA now. Really doesn't have any kind of itemization. Trying to go for that Shiver's Guard on the Ember. It's been a very slow process for him. It does combat the Bloodseeker nicely, but seems like Dreamer Soul really isn't the issue here. It does seem to be all Makoto. So they do roam in now. Onto Ara, and Ara once again, he's getting mauled by Makoto. Not even close. Palos gonna get ruptured, tries to time walk out of there. They still have a bit of vision. Swap, Chrono is gonna be out. Onto Palos, he'll try to fight back, but look at the damage he's taking. Oh, Palos, you can't run like that, sir. Not with Rupture. And they found another. It'll be the T1 tower. BDZ at least gets Kezcute. So you get one support picker. Ken's going to have to be slightly cautious here, though. They still have the roar up. If FBZ can close the gap, that might just be a dead ember as well. But it looks like Boom, they are just focusing in on that tier 2 top tower. Makoto, a man of business, John. He just wants to get the job done.
Yeah, he does lose the Aegis. It does expire. So have to be cautious. You don't have that second life into TA, but you do get a Crystal Ascent.
FBZ, he got that roar off. And with the cookie, it's going to be enough. Ken, you play with fire, you're going to get burnt. He learns the hard way. Ooh. BDZ now just getting destroyed. Raging, trying to roll out of there. He cannot. Makoto, it's going to be back towards that tier 2 top tower. And that'll be the final outer tower that Execration have. And for comparison's sake, they have only gotten one tier 1 tower for Execration's end of things.
Yeah, just the top. The mid tier 1 still, it's not very healthy, but it's still standing. That's what's important here for Boom. They've got the 12k lead, 12 to 21. Execration, it's looking dicey. Palos, he needs a BKB. Even then, that's not going to save him, but at the least you don't need to worry about the snap damage flying through, because that really just ruined him. It forced him to dance around while he had Rupture. Not a good time for the Void. Their high ground is going to be under siege soon, though, depending on whether or not Boom want to force it without the Aegis. They might just wait out for that next timer. They're also just farming up the Mikado to finish up that Daedalus. So, RTA damage, it was high before. It's going to be higher now.
It certainly is. He'll finish it off before they go for any more. Holding on to that 12k net worth lead is Boom Esports. What's Dota Plus think? Yeah, they're sitting at 91%, and they lose.
He lost it.
Yeah, they lose the Shiver's Guard. 3 minutes.
That's a big one. It's a very big one. Ken needs the presence. He needs the armor. They're gonna have to hold out for 3 minutes. You don't want to fight without that item. It's very, very difficult. The key items for Boom keep flying in. Basher up now in Dreamo Cell, so he will lock you in at some point. And the Daedalus, one lucky crit, and he's been melting RR in 2 hits. Make it 1 to get lucky.
So 1k crit from Makoto, without the Melt Strike, mind you. And he has a double damage in the bottle. Oh boy, that's a scary TA.
Great. Yeah, that's balanced to me, Mike. And yeah, now they'll just set sights for Roche. We'll find out in 30 seconds how long it'll be, but there's a smoke here from Execration, just trying to get control back in their jungle.
Doesn't seem like Boom really care about that though. They're trying to get a safe place to farm for Palos. They'll steal a double stack of Ancients, which is nice. But you go to that top lane where Boom, they've smoked up. They want to start forcing it in. Ken's going to be careful because he'll get swapped out like that. And the Roar might come in from FBZ and does. With the swap back, do they focus him down? Not quite. Ken's being left alone. They didn't seem to know that everyone was down at the bot lane from Execration. So they didn't take the fight, and Ken survives for really no reason. Raging is still rolling in, but I think he's overestimating how strong he is right now, because he's really not that strong, and he will get taken out by Makoto. Now they can go back in. Dreamersaw, he pops the Rupture onto Palos, who's trying to time walk out, but it's raining fire, and Palos is going to go down without committing the chrono. Now Dreamersaw back onto RR. BDC there with the lift, but Makoto going to clean him up, and BDC, he's going to run. Raging rolls back in. Palos, he is not buying back on the Void, so they really can't buy back like this. And Ken, that is not the remnant, sir. That is not the remnant. That's a triple.
Ooh.
Makoto, not done. He's going to go for an Ultra now. And there's your buyback. We might just see a Rampage out. Palos, he's going to go for the Chrono, but this could be dangerous. As Makoto, no, he will die. So they do successfully defend this high ground. It costs them a hell of a lot, and they are now going to be 19k net worth behind.
Yeah, look, if you're Execration, you're going to be happy enough that your high ground still stands. Tier 3s are still all relatively healthy. There is a Roche, though, and Boom could easily just work their way to it. Now, Execration isn't too bad in the Roche bit. They just need to wait for the next chrono, but it's a fairly long cooldown, and
yeah, he went to farm the triangle, but he's going to get roared up with a Rupture. They just leave him. Let the Necro units do it.
Just like that, like a dieback. Out of nowhere now, everyone else.
Execration, they look like they have some serious miscommunication issues here. So, we've seen this over and over again during this game number 1. Like, Raging will roll in, but the rest of the team doesn't want to. Palos, he doesn't seem to use Chrono when it's necessary, and well, just like that, he went to farm. It seemed kind of obvious that Boom were there. He does get caught out.
There's a big window now where RTA is going to be up, and they can clear the rush, where there's not going to be a Void. There's no buyback. Even when he respawns, it's going to be about 5 minutes for the buyback as well. So it's a very tight wire kind of situation here for Execration. They can't afford to lose their Void for the next 5 minutes at least, and they find a Roche. Mikado's TPing in. Should be a very fast one to take. Aegis and Cheese now. More than likely going Boom's way. Execration, all they can do is play it safe, keep their high ground safe. They have fairly good high ground. They just need their Void to be up. They actually leave the Cheese for whatever reason. Yeah, it's for the boar.
I don't go grab it. Everyone else on Boom Esports is just lactose intolerant. They can't pick it up, John. Don't judge them.
Nah. It's risky
Boom.
if you're sick to it.
They're going to make their way to the high ground, and it is very difficult to see how you defend this if you are Execration. Like, they have the Chrono coming up in 15 seconds, but even then, we've seen the Chronos. They don't have the damage through them.
No.
See if they can do it. They're going to roll in onto Makoto with a nice kickback, and that might just be the Aegis or not. They swap Makoto out, and he'll get a reset. Salve him up. Ken's cute. He has the shovel. I mean, there's tier 3 items up. I guess they could just take their time. Get some bounty runes for themselves. A DD rune as well for Makoto. Very, very nice.
Yep. So everything you could want for a high ground siege. And you do have the Chrono up in Palace, so he is ready to go now. If they want to go for that defense play. You know Boom is just going to constantly try to shove it in. Have to be very cautious. Kezcute has been on point with the swaps. You need to ensure that the bench is not going to be a major factor when you throw the Chrono out.
Raging. Just half his health. Makoto going to go in and try to get him, but doesn't quite. Now the Raw out onto Ken with the Mortimer's Kisses to come in. Dreamer Cell will rush in after the Ember and does get the kill, but he'll buy it back. They're onto Kezcute. Palos, Chrono, going to catch 2. Makoto is there, just wrapping around onto Ken. Palos will continue moving forward, but he's going to get just destroyed by Makoto. He disappears into the mid-tier 3 tower, but there's the GG call. They know they can't come back. And Boom Esports, 31 minutes in, will take a very convincing game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely clean game from them. Making out all their lanes worked really well. Execration They look for a faster start. Palos took a lot of time. Ken's matchup as well wasn't favorable. Just lost it out. Despite having to wait to burn through Refraction, Mikado just got his spacing right to get these side blades off every time. And there has to be something that changes. Execration, they need some wins, climb out if they want to stay in. So the next game is going to be very important for them to figure out what to do next.